going to ask if someone would like to volunteer to recap. I can continue Socratic methoding it, but I don't like it.
We love it.
Do you?
I haven't done the recap in a minute. I can do it.
Go for it.
I can. So the party was split. We had team exploring with Beatrix, Callow, and Lucian, who had just entered Blinsky's shop and had a very interesting conversation with Blinsky, in which he seemed like a pretty nice dude. Really wanted us to buy one of his creepy toys. Couldn't shed any light really on the origin of Mary's doll, and we didn't see a doll that looked like Mary's doll, although our rules for that were really bad, so maybe there was one. But we did get a picture from him that business is quite bad and that he is being harassed by the ward of the Burgomaster, who has been intimidating him into creating iterations of a doll that is looking increasingly like our friend Irina, who Blinsky hasn't met, doesn't know exists, and won't pay Blinsky for it. We also are getting the sense that Blinsky is good buddies with Rictavio. So we're very unnerved by this. And then tacking back to the other folks, to Courage and Elandra, who had a lot of questions for the Baroness about her son, the Baronet, her teenage son, who was called many times a delicate boy, a sensitive boy. They were exhorted not to bother him, but they were escorted up into the attic where he has his lair, and realized that he is an immensely powerful magician wizard, who has taught himself out of his father's library, who has made the two servants disappear and killed them because he's trying to create a portal that will take him out of Barovia, and it's not working yet. There was kind of a tense face down between our heroes and the boy wizard, in which he tried to compel Courage to walk into the portal, and some quick thinking from Elandra got her and Courage out of that situation, which ended in kind of a weird, tense truce, in which they had to promise the teen boy wizard not to tell his mom, and in which it also became clear that the Baron punishes and maybe tortures his son and his wife for not complying with his wishes. So very twisted, messed up situation, which we're very glad the two of them got out of, and we finished just as that was coming to a conclusion.
Thank you. Any additions that folks want to make sure they add? All right. Since we spent a lot of time with Courage and Elandra at the end of last session, let's switch back over to team exploration. Beatrix, Callow, and Lucian. What are y'all doing?
So I believe we were heading back to the Blue Water Inn.
You were.
But I don't think we had arrived there yet.
Or we can say you've arrived in the meantime. Up to you guys, unless there's something you want to do on your way back.
Not particularly. I think Lucian would want to get back and see if there's any info, have Elandra or Courage returned yet. If not, probably settle himself somewhere where he could start trying to dig into one of those books, or at least kind of thumbing through those books that the Baron provided to us, just to see, kind of get an idea of what they are and where they might lead us.
Beatrix is gonna join him, and she's gonna pick up the book on Saint Andrel.
Right. And which book is Lucian checking out?
So we had 3, right? The Land Before the Lord, The Brief History of Barovia, The Noble Houses of Barovia, and then was it Saint Angel from Leader to Follower?
I think so.
I'm gonna dig into The Land Before.
The Land Before. All right. Either during the break or afterwards, I'll send you guys descriptions of the books because I don't have them handy right now.
That's fine.
All right, great. They exist. It's just a lot of digging. Callow, what are you doing?
Is Irina here, or is she still elsewhere?
Yeah, they came back to the inn.
Yeah, and we talked to her, and she wasn't as scared as
That's true.
we expected her to be. She really doesn't want to leave Vallaki, and she's not as alarmed by any of this as we are.
Right. So I suppose Callow would just, maybe absent-mindedly look at the other book. He's not particularly interested in the other book about the houses of Barovia. He's kind of, this looks like sort of a vanity publication that he's not particularly, doesn't hold in particularly high esteem. So if the others are reading, he'll just kind of sit there. But mostly we're waiting for Courage and Elandra because a plan needs to be hatched.
I'm gonna turn to Callow and I'm gonna say, maybe you could start by looking at the Baron's family and what their situation has been. But I don't want to tell you your business. You're a professor, and I didn't get past high school, so I'll just go back to reading about my saint.
No, that may be of some help. Often these sorts of tomes are, they're often compiled by those who wish to project a certain sort of narrative about some of these families, and are mostly meant to make folks feel good about their own heritage. But there may be something of use.
Friend Callow, as you do, if you come across any houses who have are represented by dragons, please let me know. I have some interest there.
Very well.
All right. So you guys are chilling. I would say it's like late afternoon at this point. Oh yeah, got one more for you. All right. I will come back to St. Andrew book in just a moment. Yeah, so you guys are hanging out. There are people in the inn. I am assuming you're sitting in the main tap room area. All right.
Was it empty when we came in and it's starting to fill up, or were these folks here?
I would say that, so there were 8 people or so there, but as you sit down and sort of get comfortable, you can see it's as it's sort of turning to evening, more folks are filtering in. I'd say there's roughly 12 people in here right now.
Once it starts to get a little bit packed, Lucian is going to stop actively reading his book, and he's going to feign as if he's reading it, but he's actually going to start trying to listen to the conversations around him.
Ooh, okay. Sorry. I'm putting in a St. Andrew description. There might be some pronoun reference problems, but don't read into it. It's just, there's nothing to read into there. Okay. So you're listening.
Specifically looking for if anyone, if they're doing the whole, Baron, we've all got to be happy PMA stuff, not interested. But if he hears anybody speaking negatively about it, or negatively about the Baron, or Itzik, or the Baroness, anything that seems as if it's a little bit against the norm of everybody's happy, everything's fine, That's the kind of stuff he's trying to listen into. Is there anyone in here who isn't just kind of, repeating the company line?
Go ahead and roll. Can you roll me both a perception and an insight check?
Certainly. Because I'm trying to feign interest, well, I'm not going to use guidance. I'm just going to roll straight up on perception. And then what was the second one?
An insight check, because you're checking for sort of like moods, is how I'm reading this. Great. Okay. Yeah. Like, how good are you at identifying people that maybe are like grumpier? So listening in, I would say, folks with that combo, folks in general in here don't seem to be putting on a show as much in terms of like when they're outside and they're walking around with like these huge smiles on their faces. In here, I'd say it's much more normal. A bar during happy hour after work. So there's sort of a variety of moods going on. Listening specifically for maybe some dissent. You over here, I would say, you overhear a couple of folks who are talking, like you sort of hear like Burgermaster and his bullshit. Oh, I know. It's just like another festival this week. It's so annoying. And it's two women speaking to one another at a table nearby. And you hear them also discussing someone by the name of Wachter and that person as like a potential alternative. Like, well, here Wachter could provide a claim. What do you think? Would they be any better? Like, oh, I don't know. And you see the like one hushing the other as they like start to raise their voice a bit, like it's got to be better than the alternative. So you get little snippets like that.
If he kind of just looks up quickly, I can see where the two women are sitting. Have we seen? Have we seen either of them before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm the DM, I know, so you haven't seen them.
Because they're referencing someone specific who might have some kind of alternate claim on the town, that's who Lucian's going to focus in on, try and listen to their conversation as best he can.
All right. You get this, eventually you overhear some she/her pronouns. They're referring to her as Lady Wachter, but there's some debate about her intentions towards the town and like, oh, well, she's just another noble. How do we know that she's going to do any better? And that type of like grumbling of like, well, anything's better than him. It's like, well, but the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Okay.
And I'd say, especially that 15 insight, you would notice that at one point you notice that like they continue to like glance over towards a different table where two young men are sitting as they're talking to check to see. You get the sense they're like checking to see if the two men are listening at a table nearby.
And the two men, anyone we've seen before? Anyone I may have recognized?
You do not recognize them. They're both handsome. They look a lot alike. They've got thick, dark hair, pretty chiseled features, like bright blue eyes. And they both seem pretty wasted, especially considering it's like 4 p.m.
Okay.
I would like to flip through this book and just going through the table of contents. I'm obviously wanting to look at the Velikovich family, but also I assume Petrovna / Petrovich is the wife's family / the priest's family. But mostly I'm interested in the fact that there is an entry on the von Zarovich family, especially since that is the name of the Devil Strahd that we have mentioned and that we've encountered, and so I think I would turn to von Zarovich in the book first and just see what is to be said. Also, how old? How? I realize that my cool little trick does not actually apply to the publication date of manuscripts, but like, is this like a real old book, or do we have a sense that like are we looking at like 200-year-old knowledge about these families, or is this a little more recent?
It seems like the former. It's a pretty old book.
Pretty old. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It ends with a discussion of the von Zarovich. As you're like flipping through, and especially if you pay attention to von Zarovich, it talks about how the von Zarovich line has recently launched an offensive campaign across the valley and been quite successful.
So then how about the Valikovich and Petrovich families?
You know that they have long been, and you read about the entries about them, they've long been the ruling families in Vallaki. They traditionally had traded off rule, like back and forth. But that's as much as the book really talked about, is like and under their sort of like shifting rule as like burgomasters, that they had brought a lot of prosperity to the city.
Any mentions in either of those families' discussions about their religious affiliation? Like, do they have a long history of devotion to the Morning Lord, or something similar? Are they noted for their piety, for instance, or anything like that, or is there no mention of that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd say the Petroviches in particular are noted for their piety. And this is part of why the author is writing about like Vallaki was successful, was partially because they had this balance between like the more economic leadership under the Valikoviches versus the more like religious, social focused leadership of the Petroviches. And that balance, especially alternating, back and forth between the two, is what created this prosperity.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. And then any houses? Do these families have? I mean, is there symbolism or sort of sigils or anything like that? And is there anything following up on Lucian's request? Any of them that associate with symbols of a dragon?
I have to get back to you on that. It's possible,
okay.
But I need to check something.
Got it.
Yeah, so I'll let you all know.
Yes, Callow meant to go looking for that, and then got caught up on on a poem or something that he was distracted by.
I love it. Courage and Elandra. Since the other folks are waiting for you guys, what are you up to? You've just escaped Victor.
I disagree with that framing. We don't know who escaped who.
Sure. Oh, sure.
I feel like we should be checking in with his mother. Yes.
Yeah, I think we could get going, but at the very least, I want to tell Stan and Vasha to avoid young Master Victor and try not to be alone with him.
That sounds like a good idea.
And yeah, we should check in with Lydia. I have a feeling she heard that crack of thunder.
Floor explode? Yeah.
Yeah, and that. So we'll look for Lydia. She might be waiting for us.
You guys are there for a little bit. She went about her business, so she's
Prepping
elsewhere.
for the festival.
Yeah, she's back down on the first floor of the house, and that dining room where she was at with her, with the tea ladies, if you will.
All right. If we see Vasha or Stan on the way, or we'll poke into the kitchen just to.
We're still
say,
alive.
Hi, Stan. Bye, Stan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid
Okay.
Victor.
So you guys, you give them a warning. Stan definitely is like, I knew that kid was a little weird. Thanks for the heads up. And why did I feel like her name's not Vasha? But Vasha in this game, the other maid, is super polite, and you get the sense that she's trying not to say anything bad about him, but she smiles at you gratefully after you tell her.
All right, and then go find Lydia.
All right. Yeah, she's hanging out in the dining room with the ladies. They look like they're starting to weave some sticks together.
Well, making some progress here, ladies. Lydia, could we speak to you in the hall for a second before we go?
Why, of course. I'd be happy to. And she'll come out in the hall and close the door behind her, and usher you over to that sitting room in the front of the house that you originally met the burgomaster in.
Lydia, do you know if the burgomaster's still home, or has he gone off?
I believe he's headed to the church to prepare himself for the services tonight. He goes over a few hours early to prepare the sermons for the people, and also to hear their requests and what they'd like, so that he can intervene with them with the Morning Lord.
Mm-hmm. Well, he works hard. So do you.
Oh, I'm just doing it in service of my husband and my Morning Lord. It brings me joy.
Is there anything else you need help with?
Oh, you two have already been so helpful.
You have no idea.
Truly, I don't. I know your help will be coming back to me tenfold.
That's what we say. In the Church of Shantea, are you familiar with that, Lydia? Did I say that earlier?
I believe you did mention something about Shantea. She's consort of the Morning Lord or something?
Companion, sometimes. Also a goddess.
Fascinating. Well, we don't have so many gods around our parts.
So it seems. Well, we spoke with young Victor. Would just say, he answered some questions for us, and we might be back to talk to him again. I would just say he also seems a bit, well, I think you put it best before, but just be careful around him. Try not to be alone with him, just in case.
He's my one and only child. I'm not concerned, but thank you. I appreciate the warning. I know he sometimes has a bit of a temper, but I think it's his teenage years. Those teenagers really acting out sometimes.
Yeah, I've heard sometimes teenagers act out, especially if they sense a lot of stress among their parents.
Oh, certainly it's been very difficult with the burgomaster taking up the position at the church to fill in for my missing brother. So,
yeah,
I know that's really weighing on him. He's not seeing his father as much as he used to, and I'm a little bit busier around the house, and I appreciate that you noticed and are so sensitive. But it's short term only. I'm sure that my brother will turn up, or we'll find a replacement.
It does seem like a lot of things would be a lot better if your brother were here.
Come here.
I do miss him.
Well, if you think of anything else we can do to help bring him back, we're at your service and can be discreet and sensitive.
I don't know what you're implying.
let's. I think you do. We'll see ourselves out.
You do that. Have a blessed day.
I think you do. Good day.
Good day, madam. Good day.
Can I?
Bobby is here. Hello.
So I'm Courage is trying to convey a message of like, I know you know stuff, and I know you think it'd be bad to share, but you know we can take care of things for you and it'd be better. Can I try an insight check of at least that last part? Like, does it? I feel like I asked her before. Like I know she knows more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You did.
So we don't need to belabor it.
Okay, I mean, you're free to roll an insight check if you want, but you're right. You kind of have the sense that she knows more than she's letting on.
Yeah. And
when she was like, "You do that," she had a very tight-lipped smile, like,
yeah.
I need you to go.
And that I want her to know that I know that she knows.
Yeah, I think I'd say you get the sense, even with an 11, that that's probably correct.
Okay. All right. Well, Elandra, anything else?
No, I'm just gonna say a quick goodbye to the ladies, and then we can jet off.
They really liked you.
Well, I am helpful.
Yeah, they look a little bummed to see you go since you were doing a lot of the work before.
Off we go.
All right. Do you guys want to? Are you stopping by anywhere on your way back, or are you going directly back to the inn?
Seems we should go back to the inn.
I think so.
See what we can catch up with.
The party is reunited. You guys walk in. It's bustling. Within the Blue Water Inn, lots of people chatting. You know, it's like between 4:30 and 5 o'clock right now. And as I always do time ranges, by the way, I know that Connor has a request for exact times a lot, but Tom can be like, when do we need to leave? And I'll give him 30-minute ranges. That's anyway, it's between 4:30 and 5. Yeah, lots of people, and you
4:37.
4:37. Excellent. Yeah, I'm cool if you guys wanted to say. See your friends sitting around a table reading. In this bar. Who hasn't taken a book to a bar to sit and read?
Oh, by the way, looking at the summary of the St. Andrel book, the first thing that would come to Beatrix's attention is this idea that St. Andrel was the driving force in bringing the religion of the Morning Lord to Barovia. Like, Beatrix has been assuming that he's just always been around. So she would want to know, like, when and how exactly that happened and what gods were here before.
Okay. I'll get back to you on that. I do not know that lore.
You didn't plan out all of the possible gods?
Didn't never really think about pantheons. I thought when Tom was like,
let's
yeah, I'm gonna be
roleplay
a cleric.
every single page. Let's roleplay every single page of this book.
It's like, Sally, if it matters to you to have that information, I will look it up for you. I would say, in terms of my plot planning, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Okay.
Yeah.
If you think of it, I would love to know. It's enough for me to know that it doesn't. Like, for story, like, the nerd in me is intrigued. Is Beatrix a nerd? No. So,
like, I want to give you everything that you ask for, but also, I suspect this is a Sally request. Which
well, she would. I mean, she's interested in anything to do with her patron, so she would probably be idly curious. But if that part of the book is like eaten by bookworms or whatever, she's also not going to be like, must hunt it down.
Go to the library, find a newer copy.
She's going to be like, oh, well, bookworms. I guess he came to this land at some point. Shrug. So,
Perfect. All right. You reunite.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, you beat us back.
Hi, we have news for you.
Yes, there's been some strange developments with regards to Miss Irina. Frankly, we're not all convinced here that she is safe in Vallaki. It seems as though somebody maybe knows that she is here and is already has her in their sights, so to speak.
Should we maybe go upstairs to one of the rooms to discuss further?
Yes, let's remove ourselves from any prying eyes and ears.
To the bedroom.
You go there. We'll say Ismark and Arena are hanging out up there. So they'll join you as well.
Callow will relate the story of our time at Belinsky's and the fact that Belinsky is making these dolls that look like Irina under the order of Izek. But as far as we know, Izek has never actually met her or would have no reason to know what she looks like.
That's a good one. See, Elandra, what did we learn?
Quite a bit. What do you think we should share? Everything?
Oh, sure.
Yes, do you have any leads on those missing servants?
Yes. This wonderful child killed them.
Wonderful child? What
Yeah,
wonderful
he's
child?
fantastic. Victor, just he killed them, so we know who killed them.
Wait. Who's Victor?
The Baroness's son.
And the Baron's son, too, presumably? How old is this kid?
16?
What? Do you have a sense of motive? Why? Why did he kill them?
Courage, you want to go into it?
Sure. In brief, the kid's not happy here. I mean, because of everything, and seems to be uniquely adept at magic, and found a book with a description of how to make a teleportation circle. Made one. Started experimenting, trying to send cats through it. They all died. Eventually ran out of cats, so then experimented with people, and they seem to have died. So, asked and answered.
Wow. So did he try to harm you in any way?
He did try.
How did you get away?
Spells. We used some spells.
Some magic, some negotiation.
A little bit of persuasion.
And is he coming after you? What is he?
No.
No. How can you be sure?
I mean, I can't, but
It seems like he's kind of coming after everyone in sort of like the whole world's against him. But we thought it would be best to, if we do talk to him more, to have the rest of you there. Lucian, he's quite adept at magic. If he could be persuaded not to be a murderer, he might be a useful ally, or at the very least, he had some books that seemed of interest. It didn't seem like a desire to kill as much as a desire to leave, and killing was an aftershock. I don't know if that's a distinction without a difference.
well, we did make a trade. He said he would let us go if we promised not to say anything to anyone. So
Right,
it's a
that's
little
the-
challenging to.
That was the problem. We thought of maybe we would tell his father, which he warned that the father would only take it out on his mother, suggesting some domestic abuse. It's a mess.
Oh my god. Well, we did notice something else odd that we forgot to mention because the Blinsky thing was so strange and upsetting. We went into the main town square right after we left you, before we went to Blinsky's, and there were people in the stocks, like the punishment stocks, with their heads hanging out of the holes and their arms hanging out of the holes and everything. And I went up and asked them what they did to be in the stocks, and they said malicious unhappiness.
So, seeing that some of our fears that the Baron is forcing this positivity rather than simply promoting it, something we should be a bit worried about. And while we were downstairs, I could hear a few people discussing, the Baron's politics and how he's going about keeping the town safe. And they kept a few of them making note of a Lady Wachter, who might be an alternative to the Baron. I wonder if we could meet with her, if she might be able to provide us a slightly different view of what is happening here in the city. But I mean,
Callow, are there Wachters in that book?
Yes, right. Let me look. Yes, it appears that there is an entry for the Wachter family. What do I see in said entry?
Yes, you see that the Wachter family was, at the time that this book was written, a very influential noble line in Barovia, and that they also live in Vallaki. They did not rule over the town, and in fact, they were constantly trying to get in on this rotation between the Petroviches and the Valakoviches, and they were always sort of third, right? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Never able to get in there, so.
Mm-hmm. Yes, seems as though they are another of the noble houses here in Vallaki. Not nearly as powerful as the Valakovich or Petrovich families. This book is not particularly long on details as far as anything that might be of use regarding the current living members of any of these families, but it would give us reason to believe that this Wachter individual maybe has designs on the Burgomaster's office. But again, all of this, the malicious unhappiness, this disturbing homicidal mage, and this intent from the Burgomaster's own ward and the head of his security to have these strange dolls of Miss Irina made. I can't help but emphasize again, as I believe I said to Miss Beatrix and Mr. Ravenstone earlier, as well as Miss Irina here, that Vallaki is not the safe haven that we had hoped it would be for her. In fact, I'm reasonably sure, or at least I would advocate that we consider another location to escape to. Vallaki, well, I'm not convinced that it is, in fact, totally free of the influence of the Devil's Strahd.
If
Now,
I may, go ahead.
No, I was about to ask what I think you're about to answer, so.
Ismark will say it sounds as if there's a lot of politics happening here in Vallaki. And although I also have concerns for my sister, Perhaps we should find out more about what is going on before we make any final decisions.
I was going to say,
Will you-
does it seem like we could make this town safe again?
I think that is an excellent question, Courage, because it's, it has a reputation for being very safe, and if this is not safe, I don't know what is, but also there are some weird things, and I do not want my sister to have a stalker in this place that we thought was safe for her. She is very beautiful, obviously, but the dolls is a little weird.
Yes, I think if we were to want to ascertain the true security of Valaki, we may want to start with finding this Izek and perhaps learning a bit more about why he is asking Blinsky to make these dolls that bear a striking resemblance to Miss Irina.
I agree with the intent, friend Callow, but if he is truly as worrisome as we've heard, the picture that Blinsky painted of him was rather unpleasant. I worry that any inquiries from us could be seen as digging into his personal business, considering that he is the head of, what is essentially their local police. We may not want to set ourselves directly against him yet. We saw, how many people he had locked up in the stocks simply for being unhappy in the city. What might he do to us if he feels we're threatening his, vigil over Irina? Not that we shouldn't find something there, but I think we need to certainly be careful about how we go about it. We've already ruffled the Baron's feathers a little bit, and now, his son is clearly unhappy with a few of the members of our group.
It seems like,
go ahead.
it does seem like the Baronet and the Baron are at odds, though. I mean, maybe that's something we could use. My suggestion would be, we've got the festival's tomorrow, right? Or 2 days from now?
It's on Thursday. It is currently Tuesday afternoon.
So 2 days from now, surely there's going to be security at the festival. We're supposed to be honored guests. I bet you there's going to be an opportunity for us to talk to the head of security / Baron's ward at the festival.
The Baron suggested that we approach him anyway to inquire about the disappearances and offer our help. So we could approach him under that guise to try to figure out what he's about. I do like the idea of talking to Lady Watcher, though. It'd be nice to meet another powerful figure in the city who's not towing the party line.
Mm.
Is that an expression that makes sense in our period? I think it does. Yeah, we all know. Parties have
Wasn't
lines.
the son supposed to marry her daughter or something, and it didn't work out?
Yes.
That would be interesting to know more about, too. I mean,
memory.
son sounds like a creep. Good for Lady Watcher's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes, I think taking a politic approach with Izek is important, as Ismark has remarked. There seem to be quite a number of factions at odds with one another here in this town. Perhaps approaching our conversation with Izek as more of a diplomatic conversation. Ismark, maybe you could lead that discussion as the representative here of the village of Barovia, again, inquiring as to the security measures that would be in place to protect your sister. Perhaps we would be able to glean something from his answers about his understanding and knowledge of her.
Yes, of course. I'd be happy to do that, but would obviously prefer if at least a few of you were with me for that conversation, since you've been talking to the Baron much more and helping with the Baron's investigation of his missing servants.
Oh, indeed. I think we should all be present so that we all may hear what is exchanged and come to our own conclusions about it.
Yes, maybe tomorrow. I do not know where this Ezek is tonight. What do you all think? Maybe we do a little bit more planning before we have that conversation?
Well,
Yes, and if there is an interest in perhaps learning more about this Lady Wachter, now may be the time. She may have information that could help us in our discussions with Ezek.
Well, let's go meet her.
I'd like to ask a few more questions about Victor, if I could, Courage and Elandra. So the powers you talk that this young man is using are often far beyond what someone so young would be able to wield. However, he's coming to learn these things. Certainly worrisome, especially knowing now that he killed, inadvertently killed Vitaly and Nadja. Do you think he's still a threat?
Yes.
Are there other, will other servants or citizens of Vallaki have to be worried about what he's doing, or is his interest in those types of things quelled after your conversation?
Definitely not quelled.
Zero
No,
quell.
Paused? Paused might be a better word.
Feels like he's gonna keep looking out for a way out, and like a cornered badger, the most vicious animal. No doubt that he'll cause more harm before he can make his escape.
Well, and he was also invisible when we got there, so who knows where this kid is.
Right. But also, if we can tame that badger. But I also, if he's a threat and needs to be dealt with, I couldn't think if there's a what was the word you were saying? A good way to do it that doesn't piss off the Baron and his family.
Yes, typically murdering the Burgomaster's 16-year-old son would not be considered especially politic.
I don't think I want to do that either, unless it's necessary.
Well, some parents want to, all right.
But it sounds like he's violent with his son. Well, that doesn't mean he's going to be okay with other people being violent towards his son, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, maybe we can leverage the son against the father somehow at some point. But I think we need to know more before we consider trying that.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like we have a few avenues available to us. There is the possibility of learning more from Itzik about why he is asking Blinsky to craft dolls about Irina, which leads us to worry about Irina's possible safety. We still have concerns over whether or not the Baronet will continue his experiments and endanger other members of the citizenship. We still have the missing Father Petrovich. At one point, I think we wanted to speak with guards to see if we could confirm that he actually left the city, and if they could, advise in which direction. And now we have the Wachter family as well, in terms of maybe finding us an alternative view of the politics and situation in the city. Maybe a clearer set of eyes and possibly an ally if we found ourselves aligned in our concerns over what's happening here. With such a bountiful amount of leads before us, where do we think our time is best served?
Lucian, you're right. We should split up. Everyone go with a different lead.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Actually, yeah. If Victor taught me anything, it's that we're better with friends. I would just add to the list. Lydia definitely knows something about her missing brother, but we couldn't get her to say what. And I think Milo at the church knows more than he was telling us. Whether that's about the father or about St. Andrew, I'm not sure, but two other things to look into.
Indeed, we still have the missing bones. We don't understand their importance, and we don't know why anyone would choose to steal them. I feel like so much is revolving around the Baron's family, having a missing brother-in-law in Father Petrovich. Might be yet more proof or information about the family. I tend to find myself leaning in that direction. To have lost the head of their church, and then to have the Baron replace himself as such, and to know that the Baron is, physically cruel to his family, I feel like spending some time looking into the missing father might be a good idea.
I agree.
And that may give us some insights into also why anyone went after the bones at St. Andrew's. It seems awfully convenient that as the father disappears, the bones do as well.
Indeed, as I do think that the missing bones may. Well, we're not sure of their importance now. To me, they seem, unless we find evidence otherwise that suggests that they are in fact relevant to our immediate concerns, I think our attention is best spent elsewhere, perhaps on the missing priest and on Izek and Wachter.
They both seem to me like parts of some greater evil.
Yeah, like the
missing.
fact that the priest of the church and the church's main relic go missing at the same time doesn't feel like a coincidence to me. I think it's likely that where we find one, we find the other, or we find clues to the other.
All right. Well, where to start?
I forget their names. I know that when we met with the Baron, he had said that he had assigned 2 guards to investigate the disappearance. Or had seen the father as he left. Perhaps we could track them down and see what we could ascertain from them.
Was that Kuzmina Valanova and Vicini Valanovich?
Sure.
I know they were very rapidly made up names when I asked, so I can dig back through the notes and find
I
them.
must have written them down somewhere. I can go back and look.
It was Dimitri and something else.
Okay.
I remember a Dimitri.
First names that somebody finds are canon.
Now I'm like, which session was that?
I have Vargas told us in his office during session 6. Towards the end. His office at the church. I think.
So, like, an hour and a half ago.
Like earlier that day.
This was the first night. It was the first night before we went breaking into the parsonage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Monday night. That's right.
Yep. Maybe we could ask downstairs of the innkeeper, maybe where we could find guardsmen this time of day. See if we couldn't track them down and see what we could learn from them. At the very least, if we do and there's little gained, we will have closed off one avenue, and know that we have to seek out where the father went, in another way.
Sounds good to me.
While we're at it, let's ask if they'd know where Izek is or Lady Wetcher?
Wachter.
Unless we already have a whereabouts.
I don't think we do. as yet.
Does the book maybe indicate the location of their family house or something like that?
It does not. It's also like over 100 years old, so even if it was like, yeah, it's at number 2 Plum Street, you would probably be like, is it though?
And do we think that's Wachter or Wachter?
It's probably Wachter with like the accent, but
All right, we head downstairs.
all right, you head downstairs. As a heads up, I did not write down guard names. Just that he also mentioned that Isaac was investigating, so whoever has names will go with those names.
In my notes,
Cosminian.
I have Dimitri and question mark.
Dimitri and what's that? Crispy. Sounds like question mark.
So Cosmina and Vicini, that sounds like they'd be related or married. Or they'd be related, right?
Yeah, the same last name.
Yeah.
That's probably just bad name generator. Alright, so are these the actual names then? What Tom put in the notes?
They're who I have after. We asked for the note from Father Petrovich. Vargas offered. It was hastily signed, saying the father needed to run some errands. Asked if they sent anyone after him. Some guards, Cosmina and Vicini.
Yeah, they just happen to have the same last name. It's not uncommon.
Those are slightly different last names.
Thank you.
The timers.
It's the male,
I heard
female,
Sally
right?
sneeze
really?
from the other room, and then I heard her sneeze over.
So like it's Father Petrovich and his sister is Petrovna, is how like the naming convention works.
And FYI, that 50-minute timer was up 5 minutes ago.
Perfect. This actually seems like a great spot for a quick break. Alright, we can go back to D&D world. You guys are heading downstairs into Blue Water Inn. It's approximately 5 p.m. Maybe a little after.
How busy is it now?
Still pretty busy. Like 15-ish people in here.
Do we recognize any of them?
5 o'clock. Yeah, so you see Rictavio is sitting at the same spot at the bar that he was the night before, but he seems to be eating dinner as opposed to like entertaining people right now. Other people you would recognize. Danica is at the bar. You see like Erwin popping in and out of the kitchen. As you come down, anyone else you would recognize? I think those are the only folks you would recognize, yeah.
We're sort of a large group. Do we like turn heads when we all walk in at once?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, people are sort of like interested in their own things, so I'd say folks like definitely glance up at you, and it is unusual to have so many strangers in town. But people are also, you know, I feel like it's the Midwest, right? Where like people are interested, but trying to be look politely disinterested. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as we've established, Courage's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. So I have to feel like there's some looks.
And Arena is also a head turner for sure. Like, there's a reason that people are obsessed with it.
The two gentlemen.
But Courage is currently fully clothed, right?
I feel like we have to check. That's valid.
But underneath her clothes, she's naked.
The two gentlemen that had been kind of eyeing the crowd earlier, that the two women had been keeping an eye on while they were discussing the walkers, are they still here?
They are still here.
Same place, or have they migrated around the inn a little bit?
Yep, same spot. They have new drinks from the last time you were down here.
Are they talking, or are they watching the crowd?
I would say they're more like watching the crowd as opposed to like engaged in an intense conversation. Not watching the crowd in like a we're watching you kind of way. Like not like that. Just more like, you know, when you see two dudes at a bar and they like chilling, like they might be chatting casually, but also sitting in companionable silence. That vibe.
Courage will grab Beatrix's hand and head over to Rictavio. Rictavio, a couple quick questions, and we'll try to grab Danica.
Courage, my friend!
Excellent. Danica, could you join us for a second?
Oh, well, I'm a little busy, but sure, I can take just a moment. Can I get y'all anything to drink?
We'll keep it real quick. We have so many stories, but we can't tell you now. We were just hoping for some directions. We're trying to find where we would find Izak, the leader of the guards, and the Lady Watcher.
Watcher.
That's
Oh,
why.
of course.
Thank you, Beatrix. And any other place a bunch of guards might hang out. We're looking for a couple of them, and we're trying to help with an investigation.
Yeah, Danica. I don't know why you want to see Lady Wachter. She doesn't really come into town very much, but those are her boys over there in the corner. I assume she's at home, but you could always check with them. And she's pointing to the two guys that Lucian noticed earlier.
Her sons? Those are her sons?
Why, yes, those are her sons. Nikolai and Carl. They're in here all the time.
Well, that's good to know. Well, thank you. We didn't realize.
Of course. But yeah, I assume she's at home, and if you want to see her there, she's just on the main road, and you take a left, and she'll give you like the specific directions to get to her house. Big manor, wealthy family, can't miss it.
Wonderful.
And
you.
Rictavio's like, and yeah, I think I don't remember his accent. I think I saw Izak earlier walking around the town square, but who knows? He's always patrolling around town, so that's where I saw him last.
Excellent.
And you asked about the guards, hon. Some of them hang out in here. They also do different rotations at the different gates. We've got the morning and the evening gates and the east and west. And then, of course, we've got a southern gate as well. So they're stationed there. And when they're not there, I suppose they're at home. Are you looking for anyone in particular?
Their names were Cosmina and Vizini.
Whoa, yeah, they come in here from time to time, and she'll like look around. She's like, I don't see them now, but they're usually on during the day at the gates. So I would check then. Maybe check the western gate, the evening gate.
Good to know. Thank you so much.
Oh well, you're welcome.
Wait, we check the western gate during the evening.
I see where the confusion is. No. It's called the evening gate informally. Check the western gate during the day. Aren't you clever?
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Can I actually? I'm glad you came over. If you have just another moment.
Sure.
And she'll sort of pull you down away from Rictavio a little bit to the end of the bar. Be like, I believe Erwin mentioned our little wine supply problem.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Well, he was too polite because we don't know you folks real well yet, but we were wondering if you might be able to do that on a bit of a time schedule. The Baron would really like there to be wine for the feast next week. I think we've got this week's covered. But next week is a big religious holiday as well, the Feast of St. Andrew's. It's a big deal, and wine is an important part of the celebrations, and we're not going to have enough to cover it. So I don't know if you can make it out to check on the winery before then, but it would be really appreciated if you could. I just thought I'd mention it, but you don't have to, of course. I mean, we'll pay you for your time. It's totally up to you, but I just wanted to tell you.
This is good. This is valuable information. Let us talk to the rest of our group and let them know what you just told us, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you all so much. I'm so glad you all are here.
No, we're glad we're here too. Thank you very much.
I'll send some dinner over your way.
I think we might be on our way out, but if that changes, I'll let you know.
Oh, all right. Sounds great.
We'll probably be back in a couple hours.
All right. Excellent. Well, I'll look forward to feeding you then.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Courage will tell, return to if anyone stayed back, let them know what we learned.
Oh, I had assumed that you went up to the bar to get drinks. But, well, no, that's all right. That's all right.
Oh, Callow, it's a great. I mean, I thought we were gonna leave soon, but we could probably grab some shots.
Right, no. If we're on our way out, I suppose we're on our way out.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. I mean, should we talk to the ladies' boys? Pointing to the two guys at the table.
Sounds good to me.
I'm sorry. Could talk to the who?
I told you those are Lady Watcher's sons.
Oh, the Lady Watcher's boys. I see. Yes,
Lady boys.
I heard something different. Carry on then.
I mean, it sounds like, or we could just head straight to the lady's house.
We could talk to her.
Well, I suppose
I don't think there's any reason why not.
An intro might be nice.
Are we?
Yes.
While you were at the bar, I noticed that Danica pulled you aside for a moment. Is everything okay with our rooms? Did she need something from us?
We'll mention the emphasis she put on the wine, and everything we learned there. Just repeat it. Same with the guards' locations, Lady Watcher's location, Izek location.
Well, of the many missing things in this town, I would say that the wine seems to be the least of our worries. However, she did mention payment, and
Exactly.
well, if we are going to continue to stay here, I don't imagine that our funds will last forever. I myself have a modest amount to sustain me, but was not entirely sure.
Maybe tomorrow morning then. I don't think we could do it tonight. But I want to learn something else before services. I assume that's going to be a tough time to talk to people.
No, Danica indicated they need the wine before the festival in 2 days, correct?
No,
No,
for
it's
the
next week's
week
festival.
after.
next
Next
week.
week's festival. Gotcha. Yes, we've got some
Yeah,
time
they're good
there.
for this week. It's next week, the St. Andrew Festival, which I don't know how they're going to do that without any bones.
It's like they don't know that the bones are missing or something.
Right.
Well, upstairs we seemed fairly decided that we wanted to look into the missing father and see if there was a tie to the bones. Do we want to change directions and go speak with the Wachter boys and the family now, or do we want to stick with what we talked about?
Well, we can stick with the father. Do you have an idea of where to go for that?
I thought we were going to go try and see if we could find the guards.
Let's do it.
Try to inquire. Did he actually leave the city? What did they find when they investigated? Did the Baron actually assign them to investigate the missing father? There's a number of questions there, and we may learn more if we go down that route.
We can try to catch them. They only work during the day at the evening gate, but maybe they're get off late.
We could also try and see if we couldn't find where they might be this time of evening for some of the other guards that are there, if they're not there. I'm okay with pivoting. I just...
No, Lucian, this is a good point. Let's go talk to the guards first. I mean, if Lady Wachtter's boys are right in front of us, it might be nice while we're here to just say hello. But I think after that, rather than going to the Wachter residence, we should go find the guards.
We might make an intro to see if they can
may...
meet back up with us and bring us themselves if they also live at the manor.
It's a good point, Elandra.
Yes, this might not be the best time to call on a lady of Lady Wachtter's station if it is approaching the evening meal hour, whereas guards may not have quite as many compunctions about receiving guests or meeting new folks at such a time.
The only problem is we don't know where the guards live.
Do you think they come here?
We may be able to find them at the gate, or perhaps they come here. Yes.
Sorry, Danica did specify they work during the day. They're not currently in the bar. Just in
Did she
case
say
that's
that they like might be expected to come here after their shift, maybe, or something? Like she said, they come in.
She didn't say that.
But...
I think the implication is that they will not be coming in tonight to the bar. Like, obviously she wouldn't know for sure, but it's not part of their regular routine. And that they have gone home.
Well, if we go out to try and find these guards, which may be a lost cause at this hour, we may end up with nothing. So perhaps a brief conversation with these Wachter boys to set a date in the future, perhaps tomorrow, to call on their mother.
Sounds great.
Yes.
Does anyone know how we just walk up to boys?
Oh, courage! And Beatrix is gonna turn on her heel and walk over to the table, and she's gonna go up to the Wachter boys, and she's gonna go, "Well, hello, gentlemen."
Hello. Who are you? I don't think I've seen you before.
My name is Beatrix. I'm new in town.
It's nice to meet you, Beatrix. I'm Carl.
Hi, Carl. And she's gonna shake his hand.
Nice.
And you two look alike. Is this your brother?
Yeah, this is my brother Nikolai. He'll be like, yeah, hi, I'm Nikolai. They are plastered. In case the tone wasn't clear.
Nice to meet you. So Rictavio over there mentioned that you are the sons of Lady Wachter.
Oh, the bard guy? Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah, we're the sons of Lady Wachter.
Awesome.
You must be new in town if you don't know us.
Oh, totally. Yes, very new in town. That's me. So do you guys come in here a lot?
Oh yeah, like all the time.
All the time?
Like, yeah, we like basically are like the mayor.
Awesome. That's so good. So I would love to know if my friends and I could maybe meet your mom, because we've heard so many great things about her as a leader of this town.
You want to meet our mom? She's like the worst.
Oh, she is? Why?
Oh, she's just like, I don't know. She just really sucks as a mom. She like is just too ambitious, and she's like always angry because she's not in charge of anything. I don't know what she thinks she's gonna do about shit anyway, because it's like just bad always here.
Yeah, we noticed that people seem really tense.
Yeah, it's like without the wine, I don't know how anyone would like live here.
That is an excellent point. That is an excellent point.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm really smart.
Yes, no, clearly. Very intelligent man. Do you have any other siblings?
No, it's just us.
Ah, just the two of you.
Yeah, and our mom, our dad died a little while ago. It's been tough.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, here's a toast to your dad, and she's gonna like reach behind her.
To Nikolai.
Here's your dad. She's gonna pretend to drink.
Meanwhile, they will like finish their big glasses of wine that they have, like drinking very like greedily.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you guys like part of her book club? Don't tell her what we said. You're part of her book club, aren't you?
No. We've never met her. It's just that we met the Baron, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a little weird. And so we thought it would be good to meet someone else who like knows a lot about the town and who people respect.
Well, she knows a lot about the town. She's just always in everybody's business.
Sounds like an intense lady.
She's intense. That's what she is. She's really intense.
Now, do you guys what do you guys love to do when you're not here?
They like keep looking at each other. Sleeping? If we're not here, we're sleeping.
Sleeping is great. I love sleeping.
Yeah, it's like the best, isn't it? You just like get it. You just get it.
I love sleeping. Sleeping is amazing. In fact, I would love to sleep soon. Anyway, it was so good to meet you.
And we got like a really nice. I got like a really nice bed in my house.
Oh, you do?
See it.
Oh wow! Is it back at the manor?
Yeah, it's back at is in the manor. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Well, I might take you up on that at some time. Cause you know, I've just been using the one here, and it's fine. But so okay, I'm Beatrix. I am gonna be around, so I'm sure I will see you very soon. It was so good to meet you guys.
It was really good to meet you too. And you'll see like Nikolai leans over. He's like, "Why did you get the girl? Why can't I have the girl?" Like one of those drunk whispers where he clearly thinks it's very quiet, but he's really like, "Why do you get her?"
And I'm gonna be like, "Bye," and I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna be like, "Courage, that's how you talk to drunk boys. You just say yes to everything they say. That's all you have to do."
But that's lying.
It's not lying. It's just common sense. Right?
Did you learn anything? Did you find out anything? They seem to be in a state where they would be willing to reveal quite a lot.
That is very true. Let's walk and talk so that we don't tell the whole tavern what they said. And go find some guards. So as they're walking out, Beatrix is going to convey that Lady Wachtter's sons consider her extremely tiresome and that she has a lot of ambition and she's always up in people's business and she has a book club. And they don't seem to do much except drink in the tavern and sleep.
And did you arrange for them to introduce us to Lady Wachter?
Oh, they were not on that level. They were not. They arranged to invite me back to one of their rooms for, back in the room purposes. I think they were focused on the face and not the armor. But so they were not thinking about, hey, let's introduce this chick to my mom. They were not on that level. But at least we have some things that we know. And you know what? if I have to use that advantage, then I guess I do.
Well, I think that. Well, I think you're. That's. I don't suppose that you would need to stoop to such a level, Ms. Beatrix.
Oh, I wouldn't actually go through with it. It would be a way to get into the house.
By
All the
sleeping
same,
Lady Watcher. I get it.
Right.
Oh, great. You have so much
So which
to do.
way?
We're going to the western gate. See if we can find the guards.
Well, again, they're probably not there, but sure.
They might be. Or someone who knows them might be.
All right.
All right, you guys head west. You end up passing the church. Other folks are also headed there for nightly sermon. As you walk by the door, which is open, you could hear the Baron's booming voice as he's talking to the parishioners, like, "May the morning Lord bless your harvest," like that kind of thing.
Mass started?
No, he's doing like we'll call it meet and greet beforehand, where like he answers. He has petitioners come in to like ask for particular personal blessings.
Okay.
All right.
This wouldn't seem weird, to be clear. Like this is pretty standard practice in in the Morning Lord realm.
Beatrix is gonna take this opportunity to try again to be like, hey, big guy, you told me to trust, but it seems like the Baron is super creepy, and he doesn't want good things for the town. So what am I supposed to do?
Are you doing anything to like help channel or?
What can I do to help channel?
Yeah, it's you could. I guess you could think about like a religion check, or if you have any type of spell that allows you to like engage.
I don't have one as yet. Not like what Courage has, but I could do a religion check. Let's see if that gets me anywhere. Let me see. Because this is bothering her. Oh my god! Dirty 20!
Oh, all right. As you are concentrating on talking to Lathander, and also I now keep worrying that I'm going to say Dawn Father. As you're thinking about concentrating on this, it's dusk, but just as you're like, you kind of look up at the sky and you see like a final ray of like sunshine as part of the sunset, and you like feel the presence there that you felt before, and your gut tells you that like you should trust your own instincts about the Baron being creepy.
Okay. So no voice, but
No
like
voice. But it feels like someone gave you that feeling. Does that make sense?
Okay. All right. She's a little confused because earlier it was like, these are my people trust when the Baron was talking. She's a little confused, but okay. All right. She will take that. Move forward with resolve and purpose.
All right. You guys arrive at the western gate of the city, also known as the Evening Gate. Yeah. There are a couple of guards on duty, both at the base of the gate, and then there's also posts that have visibility like up over the wall that encircles the town, and there are 2 more guards up there, and then there's like a little guardhouse. I mean, it's very small. It's like, think like phone booth times 2 sort of size.
And sorry, did you say there are guards in the?
There are 4 guards on duty. They're not in the guardhouse. They're on duty right now. You get the sense the guardhouse is more like a place where one puts one's purse on their way whenever they're on duty, or keeps their meal.
Courage will go up to the guard.
All right. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Good evening. My friends and I were helping the Baron with some things. He told us that we should talk to Vicini and the other name that I know.
Cosima.
That one.
Yeah, they're not here right now. They're usually on during the day. So I'd suggest coming back sometime after like 7 a.m. tomorrow. Maybe 7:30 just to be safe.
Okay. It's kind of urgent. Do you know if they had plans for the night? Were they going to services or?
I don't think they usually go to services. Everyone's pretty worn out after their shifts.
Okay. And do you have their home addresses on file, or?
No, I know they live, somewhere on the other side of town, but...
All right. How tall are the guard towers?
They go over they can see over the wall, which is tall.
3 stories?
Sure, sure. Seems reasonable.
Is it possible to get for people to climb one of the guard towers and get a view of the city?
Like, you want to do that right now?
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a great spot to catch the sunset.
It is. That's one of the perks of this job, but who are you again?
My name's Courage. And
nice to meet you. I'm Valentina.
Valentina, very nice to meet you. We're new in town. We're ambassadors from Barovia, city of. With the burgomaster there, and we here on some diplomatic and investigative business for the Baron.
Do you have anything proven that you're working for the Baron?
Guys, do we have any Baron work proof?
Not off the top of my head. He loaned us those books, but they don't say his name in them or anything.
All right, we're gonna have to come back on that.
Of course. If you can bring back proof that you're working for the Baron, then sure, we'll let you climb the guard tower. But I'm sure you understand, ma'am, as you look like you have perhaps done some martial work yourself, that we can't just let anyone climb this tower, liability issues and whatnot.
Wait, who would be liable?
The city? Perhaps me? If
I
you
hurt
fell?
myself? Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Welcome. Connor, we'll have to tell you about a past D&D game.
Oh.
D&D game that ended in small claims court.
Oh my god, it was like there was a whole thing about we didn't have the paperwork to busk in a particular area in a dwarven city, and it became like we got thrown in jail. It was a whole thing. All the like food carts that we stopped at had to show us their paperwork, and they were all very loud about showing their paperwork. Anyway, litigiousness, it does exist in D&D worlds.
Yeah, let us avoid jail. That sounds like a good idea.
No, every good
jail
adventure
sounds
begins in
awful.
jail.
Well, as we had been led to believe, these two guards are not on duty at the time. Well, I suppose the question is there other work that we can do this evening?
Well,
I was wary of, for reasons of propriety, of calling on Lady Wachter at this time of night, but perhaps propriety is does not hold much sway here in Milwaukee.
We're close to the church. I want to talk to Milo a bit more, and it might be, I don't know, we'll like move the group a little away from the guards and whisper, it might be good to give the Baron a report.
What do we have to report to him at this point?
Well, that would be a question of what exactly we want to tell him, but could at least make a show of that we're making an effort to help him.
Well, it sounds as though the only thing that we've learned is the unfortunate fate of his two servants, which it seems to me, if I'm not mistaken, that you and Miss Elandra promised his strange homicidal child not to reveal.
For now, yeah, but we could say that we, had a good meeting with Lydia and the staff, and that we did all the things you guys did.
I don't know. I mean, the problem is that the guy who is commissioning this doll, Itzhak, is a protege of the Baron's. I don't know. I think we should avoid his attention for a little while we continue to look into some of these matters.
Well, I think we already have his attention, and I'd rather tell him, put our spin on we visited the house instead of him hearing it straight from Lydia and him wondering why we didn't tell him.
Well, he knows. He was there at the beginning of the visit.
Oh, that's true.
Also, I just don't see how you did anything that Lydia wouldn't that wouldn't be okay to tell him. It's certainly nothing that Lydia knows.
I think that family has a lot of secrets they keep from each other.
I think that's probably true.
Well, and the question is, of course, to whom do you owe your loyalty? Do you feel an obligation to this this young lad? Is he indeed worthy of keeping a secret for?
As for the details, I don't know. What do you think, Elandra? I feel like telling the Baron what happened to Victor, it sounded like that would have worse consequences for Lydia than anyone else.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great idea. We must find another way.
I have to admit, it was my instinct as first too that, pit the two against each other, but I feel like there's some collateral damage there.
Well, it may be our best move to go back to the inn, have some dinner as offered, go to sleep, and then go look in the morning for the guards at their usual daytime posting at the Western Gate.
Okay.
Seems reasonable.
We can go through the Western Gate on our way to the winery a few miles that way. All right, but on the way back, I'm going to talk to Milo.
Okay, if you really want to.
To the church.
To the church. All right. So as you guys walk back to the church, they're not far from each other because St. Andrew's is on close to that gate. You can tell folks are sort of taking their seats, and it just so happens you guys did. As you're walking past, you actually see Milo with his bag, his work bag packed up, and he's heading towards the road towards y'all.
Fantastic. Milo.
Oh, hi, Courage. How are you? And he is immediately blushing.
You're not. I'm very good,
Kirby.
thank you.
Wait, did he call you Kirby? Do you remember this?
I don't remember.
pillows.
Cashmere, thank you.
right.
Cashmere.
In this
Thank you.
case.
I don't have that down again. I've been trying to keep track.
Mila, where are you headed?
Oh, I'm headed home to take care of my siblings. End of my work day. Now that the Baron's here and gotten started and everything, has everything he needs.
Is everything good at the church? Yeska's okay?
Yeska seem fine.
Excellent. Which way's home
He's,
for you? We're headed east.
Me as well. I live on the outskirts east. You walking that way?
Yeah, we're headed back to the inn. Would you have time to stop for a quick beverage?
I should get home and see my siblings, but maybe I could pick them up a special treat at the inn.
All right, we can walk and talk.
I'm the only one they have. Our parents both passed away.
How long ago?
Well, my father about 2 years ago, and my mother died in childbirth about 5 years ago with my youngest sister, Marta.
How many siblings do you have?
Oh, I have 4.
And you're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
All right. Well, we'll make pleasant small talk for a while.
He stumbles a little because, he's nervous.
And we'll introduce Milo to... he hasn't met Callow or Beatrix?
I think not officially. I feel like he still saw everybody at the house, as I recall.
Yeah, and we all went to the to the church afterwards,
church.
after being at the house. So
Right. Yeah, I took it as he was outside digging most of the time, didn't meet the people in the church.
I think he saw everyone in passing enough to know that, y'all are a group.
Okay. Mila, when we visited earlier, what did I ask you about?
Ooh, what a good question.
We were asking you, if you'd seen anything suspicious around. I'm just gonna say we learned something was taken from the church. A bit of a holy relic that we're trying to find before the ceremony in a couple days. Did you hear anything about that?
What do you mean?
Is he asking in a way of he genuinely doesn't know, or asking in a way of do you know what I know?
Roll an insight check.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I will say, nope, I won't say anything.
Don't say.
I won't say. Oh, it's in there. Okay.
Real bad. An 8.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Okay.
You get a face value.
Can I try based on my observations of how this conversation is going?
Absolutely. Anyone that would like to may roll an insight check if you're listening in.
Okay. Oh, 17.
Are Lucian or Callow rolling insight checks? Yeah, they. Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, 21.
No, nothing from Lucian.
Nothing from Lucian. Okay. Beatrix, you also can't seem to decipher it. Callow, I sent you whisper.
Ah. What? We'll look at everyone and what? Do you mind if I tell them what we're looking into?
Well, I don't think that's exactly wise. I don't think we need to be revealing any information there. Milo, is it right? Yes. Well,
Yeah, you're the
Professor
professor,
Callow
right?
Yes, indeed. Yes. So, well, as a man of science, I am often quite distressed by the idea of certain irreplaceable artifacts going missing, as they are indeed tangible pieces of evidence of our shared cultural and religious history of great importance. So you can understand why I would be particularly distressed about something like this. You haven't noticed anything going missing from the church, anything that might be of particular importance to the congregation?
He actually just roll a quick persuasion check for me. All right. At this, you see like tears start streaming down his face. I don't know how you knew, but all is not well here in Valaki, and I'm just doing what I can to take care of myself. No, I gotta be strong. I gotta be strong for them. I'm sorry. How did you find out?
What? Is there?
It's clear that not all is well here in Valaki, Milo. Now tell us, were you working with somebody? Were you helping somebody, or was this your own doing alone?
Well, he'll kind of pull you down like a little side street and look around, and it looks pretty dark on the side street, just so you're like not out in the middle of everywhere, like in the main hubbub. Well, look, I mentioned I am the provider for my siblings, and although I have a job and I'm so lucky, it's just not enough to give them what they need. So recently, the coffin maker, Henrik, I don't know if you know him, offered to pay me a lot of money to take the bones for him.
How much money is a lot?
You say the coffin maker. Huh.
I know where that is. All right. Thank you, Milo.
And what do you? Well, what do you know about this coffin maker? Who? Why would he want these bones? And
I don't know. I didn't ask any questions. He just asked me if I could take them, and I said I couldn't. And honestly, I didn't even know they were there until he told me. He told me where they were, and so I waited until after Jeska had gone to bed one night and the Baron had gone home, and sure enough, right where he described, I found the bones, and he gave me 15 gold.
What do you know about this man's history?
Henrik, he keeps to himself. I don't know him very well. Lives on my side of town, so I assume he's also not very well off, but certainly coffin making business is one that's really needed in Barovia, so.
All right. Let's go break into a coffin shop. And Beatrix starts walking off down the road toward the coffin shop.
When did he hire you to steal the bones? Days ago, weeks ago?
Days ago.
And when did you deliver them?
Let's see. The timeline matches up to when Jeska told you all the bones went missing, and he delivered them that night.
Now, Milo, we understand the pressures you're facing to provide for your family. if there's anything that you can tell us that might help us to find out where the bones may have gone, why Henrik wanted them, and hopefully help us recover them, well, we may be able, be able to keep your involvement from the Baron and any other.
Oh, please, you can't tell the Baron.
Well, as I say, that all depends on whether or not you can give us information that may help us to recover the bones.
I can tell you, I delivered them to Henrik, a week ago or whatever matches up. And I didn't ask what he wanted with them. I delivered them in the night, and he took them, and he gave me the 15 gold, and I don't know, the coins seem normal. I've been trying to save them so that I'm trying to make them last as long as I can, but that's really, Henrik's, as I said, he's kind of grumpy. He doesn't really socialize much. He's an older guy. I don't know what else. I would love to help you more. I can show you where his shop is. Is that helpful?
Oh, we know where it is. Beatrix is kind of bouncing up and down on her heels.
Yeah, I'm gonna
ready to fuck some shit.
As Beatrix says that, though, Lucian's gonna pause. Say, actually, yes. Would you mind showing us where the shop is, and kind of wink it at Beatrix?
Of course.
Is that? I thought you guys said you saw it today.
We did, but it would be useful for the lad to show us where it is.
Yeah, he may know about entrances and stuff that we don't. And she's kind of, Beatrix is like, you can hear the she's almost got pump up music in her head, she's ready to fucking go.
Beatrix, Lucian, I think he's done enough. He's already told us so much. Let the poor lad go.
He is responsible for all of this. Just because he's given us some information doesn't entirely absolve him of the crime in the first place. Now, Milo, are you a church-going man yourself? Are you particularly devoted to the Morning Lord?
Look, to be honest, the Morning Lord's never really done anything for me. My life's pretty hard, and it seems pretty hard for everyone else who lives here, except the really rich people. So I'm not particularly devoted to him. I'm not against him per se, just what has he done for me?
But you didn't have any misgivings about the idea of stealing these holy relics that are clearly of great importance to folks who do put their faith in the Morning Lord.
Most people don't even know they're there. I didn't know, and I work at the church.
And so that
I
was
didn't
your
think it would really
but if
make a
most
difference.
folks don't know that they're there, it doesn't matter if they're taken.
Exactly. So I didn't think seems like a victimless crime.
Milo, when you said that all's not right in Vallaki, I'm sure you were thinking of this, and the guilt seems to have been weighing on you. Were you thinking of other things that you've noticed? Other things wrong with Vallaki that you can tell us about?
I'm just frustrated I can't seem to protect my siblings. They've been hurt. Our parents have died, and I feel like they just died too young for any of us. We're poor, and it's hard to afford food. I don't know. It's nothing specific about Vallaki. I don't particularly love all the festivals that we have to go to. It just seems like a waste of time. But did that answer your question, Kashmir?
These social circumstances are certainly unfortunate, but they are no excuse for petty crime.
I know. I just, whenever Marta is crying because she's hungry and Livius isn't going to school because he can't afford the fees, you do anything to help. I'm the man of the house. This is my responsibility.
Yes.
Beatrix is like,
cutting back on unnecessary expenses.
I don't know what you mean. I don't unnecessary expenses. I mean,
how often do you go to the tavern to buy coffee, for instance? How often do you go to the tavern and have any sort of toast with some sort of stone fruit upon it?
Beatrix is gonna go over to Callow and be like, buddy, look, clearly the man was desperate. We have a lead. I am ready. Maybe he can keep the money and we can fuck shit up and get the bones back. No problem. I like, stop interrogating him about his budget and let's go fuck some shit up. I want those bones back.
Wait, did she say that loud enough that, like, people in the street might have heard that?
I mean, definitely. I'll say there's not a lot of people like walking past right now, so clearly someone could have heard it if they were walking by.
Kashmir will grab Milo and make sure that like he's hidden from view from anyone looking down the alley. And we'll give him a hug.
Oh. He's just ugly crying into your shoulder because he's like finally had people to talk to about his problems when like usually he's the rock and trying to stay strong. This is very toxic masculinity, but alas, it exists in Barovia too. For the family, and so admitting to this and admitting his guilt, like it's all just coming out in the form of snot and tears onto your shoulder. Courage / Kashmir.
Mila, we've been talking to so many people in this city that have done things and know things, and no one has told us anything that actually helps us except for you. So in that way, you're different, at the very least.
Thank you. I want to be helpful. I know what I did was wrong, but I'm trying to do it for what's ultimately right. How can leaving these bones that no one knows exists be more right than taking care of my siblings?
Well, I think we have to go and check things out. On the small chance anyone is looking, I'd suggest wait a couple minutes before you leave so they don't see us together.
Okay.
And we'll try to visit you soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go.
Just want to say I think it's foolish that we're not bringing Milo.
Noted.
Without him, we have zero proof. Are we simply going to go in and accuse this man of having paid the ditch digger to steal bones for his coffin shop?
It's service time. The shop's going to be closed.
I feel like at the very least, we could have seen how the coffin maker, how Henrik responded to Milo. We could have asked Milo to say he was willing to return the money, that he had to return the bones, that he didn't feel right about things. There's valuable insights there we could have gained from that interaction. As it is now, are we simply going to accuse the man? Or do we want to go break into his shop and try to rifle through it at night? What is our plan now? The one person that we had who had info for us, we just sent home.
Lucian, we can get him later. He's got kids to tend to. Let's go back to the inn. We can discuss over dinner.
No, we gotta go now. I want to go to the coffin shop.
And this is my concern. now we either break in, take a heavier hand, and it will simply be.
I don't feel comfortable talking about B&Es in the middle of the street. So let's move.
Beatrix is moving. She's off down the street. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We gotta lead, let's go.
This ship may have sailed in this regard. I think we're on this path now.
What? It's dinner time. Let's go eat. If we're doing the Beatrix, it'll be better while it's later. If we're doing the Lucian,
I agree. A meal first may be in order, but you may be the one who has to catch Miss Beatrix.
I mean, we can go see if it's still open.
Are we splitting up?
No, Elandra, we're not fighting. We all love you.
I have a few concerns here in that was valuable information, but we were more concerned about sending him home than we were in what could be a possible solution or insights into what is happening. And the other side of this is that we are not the constables in this town. If he's saying that he stole something, why aren't we reporting him to the authorities? If somebody else was paid him to say, why aren't we reporting that person? And I understand our wanting to put ourselves into some position to learn more about what is happening here because it might serve us to get home. But at the same time, I feel like we're making a lot of decisions on who is or isn't guilty in this town. Some people break laws and do things and we look down on them. Others do and we send them home, even though we know that they were thieves. I'm very confused as to where our moral compass is right now and why we're making the decisions that we're making.
I'm happy to explain over dinner.
Could it be, Miss Courage, that you yourself have developed a certain fondness for this young lad?
Yes, I appreciate people that are caring for their 4 younger siblings after their parents die young. I don't know, sue me. It also doesn't seem the highest priority.
No, but as you said yourself to the poor blubbering boy, this is probably the first piece of definitive information that has led us in a specific direction that we have yet received.
It is. Look, I think what good would come of reporting him? Just like the boy Elandra and I met earlier. Like, he's awful. I don't know what good would come of our options in front of us. We should discuss, but, there's lots of gray here.
I agree that reporting him may not be the best option, but if he is indeed guilty, then we may be able to leverage that to our advantage in some way. Have him work off his debt, so to speak, by aiding us in our investigation of this Henrik.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that Henrik's interest in these bones was purely monetary, that he simply wanted these bones for reselling to some sort of collector at a high price.
Whatever his reasons are, my concern is that now all we have are accusations and no proof that we can bring before him. Even though it would have been Milo's word against his, there may have been some insights in Henrik's reactions.
Lucian, we don't know where Heinrich is right now. We know where Milo will be in the morning. I say we go back to the inn, maybe learn about Heinrich as a step 1. I know Beatrix has some plans.
Beatrix she's several paces ahead, and she's kind of like, we're gonna get the bones, and we're gonna save the town, and we're gonna she's grooving. She's like, get the bones, save the town, fuck up the evil coffin man. Woo, yeah.
like Lucian, if it comes to it, I can force Heinrich to tell the truth. We have other ways. We don't need this poor boy. At least not right now.
The reason I suggested what I did was so that we don't have to take a heavy hand with yet another person in this town. My concern is the more we have learned, the more we see the people that are under the Baron's thumb, the more we have seen that it is toe the line or spend the day in the stocks. At some point, we are going to overstep what hospitality we have here. And if it comes out that we're investigating these things, or that we knew about this thievery, or that we're accusing the coffin maker, and we haven't reported any of these things, we've just taken on ourselves to be judge, jury, and investigator, I don't know what position that puts us in. And that's not to say that the Baron is the person that we trust in this, but we seem to be sticking our nose into a lot of different beehives. And when we have proof of something, we're letting it walk away from us. Not that we can't go find him tomorrow, you're right, but who's to say that Milo will even still be here tomorrow? You're putting an awful lot of trust in the young man that what he told you was the truth, and all we have is his word for it. We have a lot of people's words on different things, and we're quickly finding that there's a lot of different shades of gray in this town. You may have strong feelings that what Milo told you were true. I don't necessarily share them.
So what should we do now? What should we do now? He's gone.
Oh, no, he's still... I told him to wait. We left.
Oh, we left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume we're walking.
Do we go back for him? What are we doing?
We're heading.
I thought we were walking back to the inn.
So they're both, for what it's worth, the coffin maker and the inn are at least in the same direction from where you guys were coming.
Okay.
We'll see whether Beatrix stops.
Yeah.
Well, she gonna stop.
No. She ain't stopping. She's going right on past the end. She is not hungry for anything except for fucking up the coffin shop.
Now, Miss Courage, if you indeed would prefer not to engage with the coffin maker at this time, the best course of action would be to restrain Miss Beatrix from heading over there. Otherwise, if we'd like to tell her, I have to agree with Mr. Ravenstone that it may be beneficial to have Milo along with us to help ease this conversation along and perhaps diffuse any situation that may arise.
Sure, let's go talk to the coffin maker.
It may be valuable to have.
But I think if we walk in there with Milo, Heinrich will know exactly what we're there for. If we walk in just us, we might be customers. We can learn something about him without it escalating immediately. Let's keep something in our back pocket. Beatrix, that is assuming we can constrain Beatrix. I don't think it's going to matter one way or another with this one. To be fair, we can all try to restrain her.
To the coffin maker.
All right.
How tall is Milo?
He's a strapping boy, I would say. Let's say 6 feet. Sure, that feels tall to me.
Oh, so well over a foot taller than Callow.
I'd say easily. I mean, he does do grave digging, so he's also pretty built. In addition to being tall.
Okay.
Beatrix.
Bum, 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 bum. Come on. she's looking behind her and she's windmilling her arm like, come on.
I gosh, I love this. All right, so you guys are headed to the coffin maker.
Beatrix, are you planning diplomacy.
I'm planning to do some stuff. I'm gonna do stuff. We are gonna find some things out. And it all depends on what kind of reception we get when we get there.
Okay. Just, I don't want to see you in jail, and I'm not going to be an accomplice.
I'm not going to jail. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be fine.
Insight.
Go ahead. And Beatrix, if you can roll either persuasion or deception, depending on which one you want, and you don't have to tell us
Persuasion,
which
she
it is.
really. Ooh, that's gonna be a 14 plus. Nice, 19.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
you keep in mind what it is. You have 19 of whichever type of check you made. Don't tell us yet. Courage.
Yeah.
15.
15. Okay. Beatrix, what do you want Courage to think?
I want Courage to think it's gonna be fine. I got this under control. You know, it's like, and she's gonna kind of turn to Courage and be like, "Look, you want to know how to handle a small town cop? My dad was a small town cop. I have been a small town cop. I know how these people think. It's gonna be fine."
All right. Yeah, because I'm, as much as we're concerned about this guy, I want to know who hired him.
Well, that's what I'm hoping to find out.
All right. Go ahead.
As we walk over there, Callow pulls a different old vial from his pouch of various vials and drinks the whole thing down himself, and then over the course of approximately 6 seconds, his skin sort of starts to kind of like bubble a little bit and sort of contract in various ways, and all of the wrinkles on his face suddenly tighten up, and hair sprouts from his bald pate, and within a few seconds, everybody notices that rather than the elderly gnome that they had been accustomed to accompanying them, they see none other than Yeska, the little dude that works at the church.
Is this like a minor illusion, or
This is disguise self.
Disguise self. I forget. All right. Bold choice. All right. Are you ready to arrive at the coffin makers? Anything else you want to do before you get there?
Whoa. Yeska, where'd you come from? Why aren't you at services?
No, Miss Courage, it's me. It's Professor Callow. I thought that perhaps a familiar face, or perhaps a face who is associated with the church, might help our cause. If we can't have Milo himself, and I'm afraid that this particular potion is limited a bit in the height that it may grant me, and so I chose to, assume the form of an individual a bit more approximating my stature.
It's a great idea. Speaking of height, maybe pitch your voice a little higher.
Yes, yes, of course. How is this?
Fantastic.
Right then, shall we carry on?
Lucian
This is amazing.
Lucian is kind of like bending over, and like you can see, he kind of like he wants to like poke the face to see if it's real or not, but at the end he just stops and he bows to Callow and says, "I bow to this marvelous act of mummery." I had no idea you were quite so skilled. Fascinating.
And then also for DM purposes and just because we should keep an eye on this in case it makes it interesting, let's start that 1 hour timer because this only lasts for an hour.
All right. So you arrive at the coffin maker shop. It is an uninviting type of store. It's 2 stories tall, has a sign shaped like a coffin above the front door. All of the windows and shutters seem to be closed up tight, and it is eerily silent around the building. As you all walk up, you notice that all of the windows have like a lattice work of iron fitted with squares of frosted glass, sort of like behind the shutters. Yeah, big wooden door.
Do we see a light anywhere?
Yeah. In the front, I would say you do not see a light.
Is the door... Beatrix is gonna go up and very gently try the door handle. Is it open or is it locked?
It is locked.
Is there anyone around us in the town square?
Oh, are you guys in the town square? I don't think it's off the town square. I might be wrong. But you're on like a side street.
Okay.
But no one's really around.
No one's really around. Okay, good.
I'm gonna double check and make sure because you could.
I think it was around the town square. It was one of the.
Yeah.
It was the town square, and then it was the. I forget. It was like the.
The entrance could be on a side
whatever.
street.
It is so. It is not in the town square. If you look, I can sort of
not
just.
the town.
I can show
It was like in that bubble area we were near, where there was like the shops or whatever.
Yeah. So there's several shops. They look closed. Yeah.
Okay.
You are close to the town square, but it's like the next section of streets over, like next neighborhood over.
Yeah, we saw that after we went through the town
But
square.
there's nobody around.
There's no one really around right now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Beatrix is gonna knock on the door, and she's gonna say, "Hello, we need to talk to Henrik."
You'll hear after a moment.
One moment. I have an idea. The rest of you, hide. Just wait. Before it comes to the door, hide. Leave me here.
Okay. Beatrix is gonna like duck to the side, like duck out of the view of the door, like along with her back along the building.
I'll run to the opposite corner.
As you guys are
Curse,
running and
go with
ducking,
Okay.
you'll
Curse will
hear.
slap a guidance on Callow too as she moves out of the way.
You hear from inside. We're closed. Go away.
Callow, I'll bang on the door myself again, and then trying to do my best Yeska impression. Please, sir, Mr. Henrik, I need. Something terrible has happened. Something terrible has happened to Milo.
You just hear a silence from inside.
Well, and it should perhaps lead you to imagine that if something terrible has happened to Milo and I am coming to you, the coffin maker, that perhaps the thing that is terrible that has happened to Milo would require a coffin.
You'll hear some.
Charisma is not a great stat of Callow's, just so we're aware here.
I love this. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
And you have guidance.
And I think also a performance, and you can roll those in whichever order / with guidance. So.
Okay, so there's the persuasion.
All right.
There's the performance. Oh dear! Wow.
Yeah. Are you
Um,
adding guidance to either one of these?
So
Yeah,
far,
let's-
I have not added guidance yet, but now I will add the guidance. So here's
Roll
the
a
guidance for persuasion. So
Uh-huh.
persuasion is pretty high. We got a 21 for persuasion, and 6 for performance.
Seems legit.
Or no, sorry,
9.
9 for performance.
Yeah, that tracks
Sorry.
actually. I feel like that really just tallies with exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You hear shuffling feet coming towards the door. It's like, what happened to Milo?
He doesn't open the door. The door is still closed.
Door's still currently closed, yes.
Mr. Henrik, something terrible has happened. A terrible accident has befallen Milo. I was sent here to engage your services, as unfortunately Milo has been felled in some terrible way.
You'll hear the sound of like a bar being slid back from the door. And this gruff old man will like look out the door, and then he looks down to see you. Jeska?
Yes, sir. We unfortunately need a coffin for Milo. It's terrible. It's terrible what has happened. There was blood everywhere. It was just awful. I don't know.
Who the fuck are you? Why are you here?
Well, I work over at the church, with Milo. I'm the altar server at the church, and well, the Baron, he found Milo and he was dead. I fear the Baron. Well, we fear that perhaps Milo may have done something that maybe angered somebody, and somebody decided to take some sort of revenge on him for something very terrible that he may have done. I can't imagine what that might be. I can't imagine what that might be, because Milo was such a wonderful and trusting person who would never do anything untoward.
At that, Courage would like to use thaumaturgy to make, especially when Callow Jeska says vengeance, to make ominous whispers around the door.
Sure, go ahead. That happens. And you can see like his eyes get really wide, and he will pull Jeska Callow inside and try to shut the door quickly behind him. I will give folks that feel that they are close enough to the door a moment to react.
Can Lucian see inside behind him?
I assume you have dark vision. I would say you can a little, like it's pretty fuzzy though. Are you looking for something specific?
I'm just trying to see, like, can I see into the room behind him?
Not well, because he like really just has his head poked out.
When he goes to shut the door, I'd like to use thaumaturgy again to instantly cause an unlocked door to fly open.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. So as he's pulling in Callow and trying to shut the door flies out of his hand, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?"
I'm gonna walk inside behind him.
Can I see better now? Because I'm gonna face step right behind him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You sure can. You can see real good.
So, yep.
Dear, who are these strange people, Mr. Henrik? Who are these people? Where did they come from? I had never seen them before in my life.
Oh no.
Which side is the street-facing side? Give me a moment.
I was gonna wild shape into like a mouse and just let the door. It doesn't matter now.
Okay.
This is the moment of the game where everybody needs to use their fun little trick all at once. We got thaumaturgy, we got face step, we got disguise self. Go for it with the wild shape.
All
Everybody
right.
do a little thing.
I love it.
I mean, I have another trick.
You face step into the house, right?
Yeah, I face step literally directly
Or not,
behind
yeah,
him,
this
so it's just this sense of chill kind of settles in, and suddenly Lucian is just right behind him.
Elandra, what animal are you face step, or are you face step? Are you wild shaping into?
Just
But you
a
don't have
mouse.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
It was intentionally going to just sneak in, undetected. But then as this happened, everyone else started busting in. So it's like,
But
well,
you're
it's already done.
Committed at that point.
we're already
Yeah.
here.
Committed. I love it. I love that commitment. Also, Lucian, you see into the store as you're face stepping in. It's basically like a big room that has some coffins on display, and then some crates and some wood lying around.
And Beatrix is in as well. Sorry.
Yeah, Beatrix is just gonna step in, and she's gonna hold the door open, and she's gonna say, "We have some questions for you," and she's gonna hold up her shield with the symbol of Lathander on it.
Ooh, make an intimidation check.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yeah,
I can say you can do this with advantage given all the other shit that everyone else is doing.
Okay. All right. So that was a 12. That's a 16. I will take that. Plus, intimidation is +5. 21, baby.
21. He immediately throws his hand off of Callow Yeska, and he puts his hands up and he's like, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'll tell you what you want to know. Come in.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk in.
I like to imagine that
And-
when he turns around to walk in, it's just Lucian smiling at him saying, "Joy."
His face, he was already pretty pale, but if it's possible to have lost even more blood out of his face, this man's fucking terrified right now.
Yeah. Is there anyone else in the room except for him?
No, you guys do not see anyone else in the room.
We don't see anyone else. All
Courage
right.
Courage will also step in and close the door behind her.
Okay. And Elandra, you skimper in as a little mouse.
Well, a rat probably is more appropriate for this game.
I love that.
And not little, cat-sized. Well,
Yep, big rat.
DC-sized rat. Got it. All right.
Yeska could ride the rat. That's the...
episode title right there.
Yeska.
Yeska rides the rat. And then, so I think the only person who hasn't come in yet is Courage.
Nope, I'm in.
No,
Close the door.
came in and shut the door.
Yeah, he came in and shut. Okay, she came in and shut the door. Great. All right, I am going to use the spell Command, and I am going to say, I'm going to point at him, and I'm going to say, this is one word, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to command him, explain.
All right. I think there's a DC for this.
Yeah, it's a 13.
13. Okay. Let me...
Wisdom.
13 wisdom save. Okay, dude, let's stop lock open. Let's do it. All right, he does save. He rolled a 16. So does anything happen on a failed save?
I think on a failed save, I'm gonna sort of shake my head and shake my hands out and go, ugh.
He looks puzzled. He's already pretty intimidated, and he's like, I can't explain.
And so Beatrix is gonna sort of recompose herself and go, explain then.
What do you want me to explain exactly?
What were you doing with Milo?
What do you know? Is he alive? And he like looks over at Yeska and he's like, you said there was blood? He's dead? What? Who came after him? Who told?
We ask the questions here, and she's gonna hold her shield up again.
All right. Look. I was promised good business. If I got the bones, and I did it, I got the bones. They're here. And that's all. I didn't ask too many questions.
Who did you promise? Or who promised you?
You're gonna, amazing. Elandra, make a perception check as the rat, or an investigation actually, depending on if you're looking for something specific versus if you're just getting the lay of the land. So specific is investigation, getting the lay of the land is perception. You need to go ahead and make a, man, but I feel like your intimidation check, you already made it. It's like, a nobleman in town. He paid me. He came and he said that the coffin maker, he promised me good business if I stored some crates. So I stored some crates for him, and he paid me, and then he came back and he asked if I could facilitate taking these bones. I didn't ask him why. He didn't seem to want the bones. He just wanted me to store the bones. So they're upstairs. That's what I know.
Which nobleman?
Was Von Holtz.
Is that name ringing a bell for any of us?
It rings a bell for Callow, who saw that name earlier in the book.
Yes, I pull out the book and of course, completely forgetting that I still look like Yeska, will just start. Von Holtz, yes. Let me see again. That was a noble family of this town.
So Von Holtz, Von Holtz, you read, is actually not a noble family of this town, but a different city in the south called Berez. Oh, sorry, you meant not this, but the other. A city called Berez, and that they were like the ruling burgomaster family there.
Do I believe him?
You can roll an insight check.
Oh crap! 5.
Do that as well.
Go ahead, Courage. And then I'll go over to Elandra and what she's looking for. Courage, 15. I'd say you believe him. Mm-hmm. He seems scared shitless right now, so is clearly afraid to tell anything but the truth.
All right.
Lucian's gonna ask him where upstairs are the bones.
They're in the bedroom. They're in the closet.
And are they protected in any way?
No, they're just in a compartment in the base of the wardrobe. I swear, you'll find them there.
I'm gonna look to Elandra and say,
I'm gone. I'm moving around.
I was the whole house or just the room?
I don't think I would be within earshot.
Okay.
Unless you're yelling.
No, I was gonna try and see if you wanted to come upstairs and help me find the bones, but
so she rolled a really good perception check as a rat. Because she gets to use her stats the best. All right, so with an 18, Elandra can give you a sense of the layout in terms of like what rooms exist. So there's this big room that you guys are sort of in that's got it's got coffins in it everywhere, which makes sense because it's a coffin store. But you quickly find there are 2 doors to the left of where you guys came in. One leads to a staircase that goes up. The other one leads to like a small sitting area. You get the sense that he uses this as like a place where he might do some work, like paperwork type of thing. There are a couple of storage like wardrobes, but you're too small to open them. And then you find his workroom in the back. Yeah, that's great. And that's this floor. So I feel like with an 18, you would get all that fairly quickly as you're skimpering around while they're having this conversation.
Where are the crates Von Holtz said you should keep?
They're upstairs.
I'm rolling upstairs if I've already checked this space.
And it never occurred to you to ask what may be in those crates or why Von Holtz may have wanted these bones.
No, he offered to pay me, and I took the money, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's going on. He's powerful and rich, and what if I mess something up? And the crates were sealed, so I thought I should leave them sealed.
Give us your best guess.
They're kind of heavy.
No, Von Holt's motives.
I don't know. I mean, he's known around town as a real friendly guy. Everyone likes him, so it didn't seem malicious to me.
Does he live here in Vallaki? Because the Von Holtz family is known for as the burgomasters of Perez.
He looks really puzzled because you still look like Yeska, and he's like, Yeska,
yes,
you know.
I do.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand. Perez has been.
And Callow pulls another flask out and pulls the cork with his teeth and drinks it, and in another about 6 seconds, his Yeska's face shrivels and recedes, and he turns back into Callow.
What the hell is going on? Who are you?
Well, obviously not Yeska. As I was saying, does Van Holtz live here in Vallaki?
I mean, sometimes he has a house here. He's not here all the time, though. He travels around a lot. Has been my impression. I don't know. I don't keep up with all the gossip in town.
Take us to the crates and the bones.
Okay. And he will lead you guys up the stairs. So he takes you through the two doors on the left. If you're facing them, it's the one on the right. I realize that's confusing. The one that's further north, technically. Mm-hmm. Take you guys up the stairs. Elandra, you are already up there poking around.
I was going to say, can I revert back to myself and just get the bones and have them in my hands?
Oh my god. I love that. Yeah, so you, whenever, as a rat, when did you become a not rat?
How do I answer that? Like, as in time or in...
as in, like, did you try to find the bones as a rat, or
yes,
did you try
I found the bones as a rat, and then just turned back into myself.
Okay. I would say that you heard that they were upstairs, but I think you said you went scampering off upstairs at that point, so I don't think you heard exactly where they were upstairs. When you get to the top of the stairs, there's a door on the left and a door on the right. And I feel is it fair to say that as a rat you would peek into both? Like,
yes.
Squeeze underneath? Okay. So in one room, you see a little kitchen. It's got a square table surrounded by chairs and shelves of provisions. In the room on... Yeah, that's the room on the right. Sorry, the room on the left is the storage area. It's big, it's drafty. There's a lot of cobwebs, and there are big stacks of wooden planks. And then you see 6 crates that are marked. They say junk on them, and they look slightly less dusty than everything else in the room.
Can rats smell bones?
I believe in this part of the world that would be yunk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yunk. They are labeled with the word yunk.
Yeah, I'm assuming as a rat I can like sniff out things being a rat, but I don't know.
I don't know. Can rats smell bones?
Don't know.
I think
Rats
that's
smell really well. They have very good senses of smell.
Yeah, go ahead and make another.
Get an advantage on the.
That seems fair.
Check, right?
Yeah, I think you have to do a new perception check for this one, but you can have advantage because rat.
Lucian, did you say you headed upstairs?
I was going to, to follow Elandra up.
Wow. Okay, dirty 20. What is that? It looks so funny in here.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, with the dirty 20, you can smell what you assume is bones. It smells like bones through the bedroom, or like through the kitchen. You go into the kitchen. It's not actually any food in the kitchen, but rather there's another door in here that leads into a bedchamber. And when you go in, I'm going to assume you're still is a rat and you slink under the door. The bedchamber has a cot and several actually pretty well-made pieces of furniture, including a table, a padded chair, a bookshelf, and a wardrobe. The bookshelf has got some books and some carpenter's manuals on them. And I would say just as you're entering the room, you hear your party coming up the stairs.
Okay, so have I'm assuming I've sniffed out the bones. I know they're there. I can revert my wild shape back into myself and likely probably shock some people as they open the door.
Yeah. So you could smell that they were over in the wardrobe. But you're, as a rat, you were too small to like reach the handle. So yeah, you unwild shape, and you're opening the wardrobe to look around. I'd say like just as they walk in, Henrik sort of opens the door for everybody and then like lets them go in first.
I found them.
Elandra.
I found the bones.
Oh, good job, Elandra. I'm going to turn to Hendrik and I'm going to say, are those the right bones?
So Elandra's just standing in front of the wardrobe. She hasn't actually, so she did not hear the part about there's a secret compartment yet in the wardrobe. So she's like, I found them, and she doesn't have them in her hands. She's just standing in front of the wardrobe. Just to be clear. You can make a perception check if you'd like to try to find it yourself, Elandra.
How does Heinrich react?
Heinrich, when he sees this woman, I think he actually doesn't look that surprised, given like all that you all have been doing and scaring him, to find that there's someone up here. 13, you're fishing around, but you can't quite figure out where they are. You're like, I know they're in here.
I know they're in here. And I'm going to start getting frustrated.
Lucian's going to bend forward and just touch her on the shoulder and say, take your time. I'm sure you'll find them and cast guidance.
All right. Roll a d4 to add to that perception check. Perfect. It's exactly what you needed. Just as he says that, you sort of breathe and calm down. And you find a little latch that was like very well integrated into the wood. It's clear that this guy is actually a pretty good carpenter. And you flip the latch, and you can feel something unlock, and you pull open the bottom of the wardrobe. It has like a false bottom. And inside there are 2 sacks, a large one and a small one.
Anyone else want to lift them out? I think I've done enough here.
I'm going to step forward and I'm going to pick up the 2 sacks. And I'm going to turn and I'm going to say, are these both the bones?
No, it's the bigger one.
What's in the smaller one?
Just some money. That's where I keep my money.
Okay. And she's going to open the smaller one. Just like look inside to see that it's actually money.
It is. The small one has, you see sort of a mixture of silver and electrum inside. And all the coins have Strahd's face on it. That's not unusual in this town, though.
And I'm going to just peek at the other to see that it really is old bones.
Sure enough, you open it up and you find a sack of real old bones.
All right. And I will pocket them and I will say, thank you for your cooperation. Could you show us to the crates?
How big
did you pocket the book?
Yeah, how big's the sack?
It's big enough that you cannot put it in your pocket.
All right.
Wait. I mean, are we talking like Are we talking like an entire human
So an
skull
entire
and
body,
bones
right?
here, or is it like
Bones?
a handful of St. Andrew's bones?
It is a handful of bones, but it includes some longer bones, which are
Oh,
not
okay.
sized. I was picturing.
Okay.
Oh god, I was picturing like leg bones and stuff. For definitely.
Okay. All right. I was being too Catholic about this.
Yeah, it is not like a sliver of a bone. They
It's
just
not
have,
a
like,
little relic. Okay. I'll put them in my pack instead.
I love it so much.
So I will turn to Henrik and say, now tell me, are you the only coffin maker here in town?
I am.
So anyone who dies, any coffin that needs to be made, you would be the only one to do it, correct?
Correct.
So if somebody comes to you and promises you a great deal more business, how do you imagine you'd get more business? You know, if there's not competition, how do you imagine that you would end up making more coffins?
I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant he was going to pay me a lot of money to store stuff.
Not that you would get more business because more people would be dying.
That was not my understanding. No. But maybe I misunderstood. Do you think he meant that people were going to be dying?
Well, I suppose you should have considered that. Is all that I'm
They should have.
saying.
All right. Will you show us the crates, please?
That's through the other door, like across the stairwell.
No.
Lead the way.
Okay. So he does. Also, I can send you guys a map of this. There we go. It's this button. Just so you can also see. Send you top floor first. It'll just take a second.
While we're moving around, Courage is going to stay close to Heinrich, and maybe have a hand on his shoulder, not in a threatening way, just like, not especially a comforting way, just a presence.
Courage makes presence known. All right. Go. And I have to share it. I share it with everybody. There you go. Okay, just so you have a sense of like what this top floor layout looks like, and I can send the lower later in case it matters. So he opens that other door. Did I get the right one? Yeah. Opens the other door, and you come into a storage room. It looks the same as I described to Jeanette earlier / to Elandra, and yeah,
Elandra.
You see. To Elandra, yeah. Isn't that what I said?
Elandrat.
Elandra.
Contract.
Nice. Yeah, and you see 8 crates in total, 6 that are labeled with the word Yunk.
Yunk.
Do we notice anything
Well, we're going
unusual?
to open these.
Anything unusual
I think
about
at this point we might as well.
They're big.
How big?
Pretty big. Well, yeah, so I know there's like, they sort of look square in the picture, but like they are, yeah, they're pretty sizable. Like they're taller than Callow, I would say. Callow could easily like fit inside one of these. And I would say, yeah, I think like in theory, any one of you could climb in and at least curl up.
Do any of you think you
And
could?
are they like crates, or are they chests that have like a lid, or are they just like
They're
crates that have
crates.
been nailed together? Okay.
Crates that have been nailed together.
Anyone good at opening these up in a way that wouldn't leave a trace? thought that wasn't.
I don't think you should open them. Look, I don't know what's in them. I haven't looked.
Insight.
But I don't want to get in trouble.
I want to. Lucian wants to see what's my reading on that.
Beatrix has thieves' tools because of her background.
Oh. What was that? Oh, it's Tom. Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Insight check. With a 10, I'll come back to thieves' tools. Your read is like, has he opened them? Is that the question?
No. Is he being honest about it? And is he being honest that he doesn't know what's in them?
He seems honest about not knowing what's in them. I mean, you get the sense he's also scared and really doesn't want to know what's in them. In terms of thieves' tools, I don't think they would apply here. I feel like thieves' tools are, well, in my mind, they're for lock picking specifically, but
Oh, so it wouldn't have like a crowbar or anything.
Yeah, because crowbar is like a different item that you might have in your pack.
Okay.
But it's very possible because it comes in a lot of the packs. If you guys want to check if you have a crowbar.
I have a crowbar.
I have a crowbar. Yeah.
Okay, a crowbar is supplied to Beatrix.
All right, and I will pry the lid off one of them.
Are you going for a yunk or a non-yunk?
Yunk.
Okay. You pry the lid off, and you hear like, and we're gonna start our next session by rolling initiative.
Shit.
Yeah.
No!
Yes.
Shit!
Oh, sure. Oh, there's Elandra.
Oh shit!
I wasn't actually gonna make it. Great job, friends.
Yay!
You solved the St. Andros quest.
Whee! Well, that is if we can defeat whatever's in there. Then we have.
Well, you found the bones.
Yes, we found the
Right,
bones.
We found the bones. We sort of, as you might say, tripped into it, basically.
It's true. Well, it was so funny because it's a pretty, in theory, like from a DM perspective, this has been killing me for weeks. From a DM perspective, it's supposed to be very easy because if you just ask Milo, like, did you steal the bones with a pretty low persuasion check, or as long as it's like not, even if it's super hostile, like that could work. He will tell you, yes, I stole the bones, but you guys had a whole interview with him and at no point asked if he stole the bones. And I was like, God damn it, I did not think this through.
Oh man! Well,
we were too trusting of Yeska, and we're like, yeah, we really can't reveal about these bones to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were worried about little Yeska. Yeah.
It was so funny to me, and I was like, I don't know how to get him out of this. I'll figure it out.
Now I gotta know, would we have potentially gotten into the Coffin Makers had it not been for the Yeska pantomime?
So I can tell you, the book assumes that you will break in.
Oh. We keep not breaking into places that we're supposed to break into.
I mean, we
also
kind of broke in, kind of,
but like in a really cool, creative way. Like they're like, he'll not open the door. It's barred. DC 15 strength check to break down the door. Like this is the progression that the book provides.
Oh. Okay, well, this is good though because it looks to outsiders like he opened the door and let us in. Like no one who
if
is
anyone
watching.
finds, which no one did, that's what they would have seen. But it's fine.
That's what they would have seen.
But it's fine.
Yeah. That's hysterical.
It's so funny. At least to me, it's very funny.
It is funny. I don't know.
I
just was like, let's just do. We need a like one of those moments where everybody is just like making choices, and we're just rolling with it because we did the choices and now they're happening.
It was great. I love it.
I'm a little worried about what was hissing at Beatrix out of that crate.
Yeah.
And by a little, I mean I'm really,
Especially
I'm fucking terrified.
We have to.
It's
we have
probably
to start
just a
by
box
rolling
of
initiative.
cats. Just a box of cats.
It's just a box of cats.
It's where we learn that Beatrix is a parcel tongue.
Oh man,
It's all happening.
I mean, couldn't have timed that better. It was like the end of the session. Like that's a perfect thing to end on.
Yeah.
Yes.